Alright, so we have the windows here. I'll go in my collection and rename them to windows so we know each of them where they are. I will hide these two collections. Make sure that you have your cursor in the middle. In this lesson, we're gonna start modeling the couch, and in the next few lessons, we're also gonna model the rest of the stuff in the studio apartment. But for now, reset this 3D cursor, pressing Shift C. So I press Shift and the C letter, and it moves right in the center. Alright, so I want it here. So let's create the couch. I'll create a new collection. On the first one, I will say here block out. So I know what I have there, and here I say couch. Like this. So for this couch, first let's bring out the block out. So because I want the couch to fit exactly in this space. Alright, so I select this one that I have over here, and I press tab. So to select one of these bars without doing this, because this doesn't select the other side, the hidden side of the model, I mouse over and I press L. I know you don't see any difference, but this side was not selected earlier. Now it is, although this pillar is selected. Okay, and I press Shift D, X, and move it like this. Now press P, like this, P, and selection. Go into the object mode. Now I'll select only the new object. Press tab. Go into face select over here, or press 3. And move this one to match this wall. So I press G, Y, and move it inside. Yeah, we cannot see inside, but in a moment we can move there to be able to see. Like this. G, Y, and it doesn't have to be like this. It has to have some space, because I don't want this couch to go inside the wall. And even here, the same. Let's select all, pressing A, G, Y, and move it a little more out to make sure there is a space. And I see over here I have some space. Let me check here. Maybe this is not enough space, so I press S, Y, and a tiny bit more, so I am sure that this is correct. And now I go out of edit mode, I'm in object mode. So let's apply this scaling, Ctrl A, like this. And so I press Ctrl A and apply all transforms. We can delete this object now. Press X, delete. Hide the blockout. Click on the couch. And now let's create the couch. Shift A, mesh, cube. Alright. We press N. So I have here 34.8, let's say. This is gonna be the bottom part. I take this one, I press S, X, 7. Perfect. And also I have a feeling that, yeah. Let's resize this on the Z axis, and let's say 0.7. We can adjust this later, but for now I will leave it like this. I will press Shift D, Z, move it a little up, R, Y to rotate it on the Y axis and press 90 and place it on this side like this and move it up a little bit. Perfect. This doesn't matter, it will not show. And we have to make it a bit smaller. But actually I'm gonna do that later because I need to know how much smaller. So I'll take the bottom piece and I'll go to edit mode. I'll press Ctrl R to create a cut and I'll scroll once to get to cut and I click and I right click. So first left click and then right click to cancel the movement. And now I want to resize it to go around here. So with these two selected, I'll press S, Y and move it up. I think something like this, a little less. Yes, let's say 2.8. Let's say 2.8. Enter. Okay. So now I press 3 to get in face mode select. I select these two faces. E to extrude. And I take them up around, let's say 6.5. We can adjust this later. Now I want to resize this one to go like this. So I press S, Y and go a little bit inside. It's okay, we will never see the back. Actually, we will barely see the all this section because it's gonna be hidden on that wall, and from the camera point of view, this couch is gonna be over here. Alright, so now press Shift A, cube, move it a bit up. Let's resize it on the Y axis. And I'll go up until about here. So I put here 5.34. Yes, 5.34. Enter. S, X. And we resize it like this. I think this is enough. And now I have to move it to go slightly a little out. So I move it on the X-axis. Something like this. Actually, I'll resize it a little more on the X because I want here to go inside on this section. G, X and move it a little inside. Perfect. Now make sure it doesn't have a space under. G, Z, move it down. Now let's put it in place. G, Y and move it to the left. Like this. It should fit perfectly. Shift D, Y. A second one. Shift D, Y. A third one. And now I will just put them in place. I will also put them at the top, all three of them. I press Shift D, right click to cancel the movement, R, Y, and I type 90. Move it a little up. Yes, they are very long, they are very tall, but it's fine, we're gonna resize them. Let's resize them now. Something like this, G, Z, going down. And now move it to the back, G, X, move it to the back. Perfect. Actually, I want them a bit taller. S, Z. Yes. Maybe it's too much. Yes. Like this is good. Okay, so it's looking good. So now we need to, before we do anything else, we need to UV unwrap this. So I take the one at the bottom, I go in edit mode, I press A to select all, I press U for UV unwrap, and I have here Smart UV project, and I leave everything as it is and click OK. Go out of edit mode. Now go and select each of them and do the same step. I'll do it fast. So go in edit mode, press U, no, press A to select all, press U, Smart UV project, OK. Tab, U, Smart UV project, OK. So now we need to start adding some details. And we add the details, and after that we're gonna click also the legs. And over here, first I will press Ctrl A to apply all transforms. Then go in edit mode, and with edge select, we select only these edges, like this. Make sure you also select this one that is under, and this one, the little one, and these two. Now press Ctrl B and drag your mouse like this, and also scroll it up a little, 2 times I did. I feel it's enough. And go out of edit mode. You can shade it smooth and go here. You have this green icon, object data properties, and scroll down until you see normals and select this auto smooth. Looks beautiful, very beautiful. So now let's do the same for these other pieces. So I have to select all of them. I press Ctrl A, all transforms. So I apply all the transforms. Now I take the one at the bottom. I select, let's select only the front. And also this one. So I didn't select the back edges, only the front ones and the side ones, but also the ones that they are at the bottom. Okay? So press Ctrl B. And you'll have the same settings like earlier. And let's put it something like this. Maybe a little more for this one. And also scroll the mouse one more time. There you go. Out of edit mode. Actually, I think I don't want to make all of them, so I'll make one and then repeat it. Alright, so right click, shade smooth, and over here, auto smooth. Looks beautiful. Now let's go in edit mode. So I'll press Ctrl R to create loops, and I want 20 loops. Not 20 loops, I want you to scroll your mouse 20 times. Alright? That means I will have 21 loops. Let's do this. So now I have one loop. I will scroll my mouse once. I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. Also the same on the top part, but on the other direction. So I go over here, I press Ctrl R, and I scroll my mouse 20 times to have 21 loops. Click, right click to cancel, and there you go. We have beautiful squares. And for this side, I'll go over here to the corner, press Ctrl R, and I'll make 2 loops. It's enough. Now go out of this edit mode. So I'll name this one cushion. I will duplicate it, Shift D, cancel the movement and hide it from the viewport and also hide it from the render. This is disabled in render. I do this because I want to do some changes, and if they don't work well, now I have a duplicate that I can go back to in case I don't like what I do on the main one. Okay? And I don't want to forget about it and see it in the render. That's why I also disable it in the render. Perfect. So I don't want to delete it. I want to save it here. Now I will go here to the modifier. I will add a subdivision modifier, subdivision surface, and I will put the level viewport to 2, both of them, and I will click apply. And if I press tab, edit mode, I will see a lot of geometry. That is good, because now with this selected, we're gonna go to sculpting, and over here, you're gonna have by default this one selected, and you're gonna scroll down either with this or by the scroll button on your mouse, and you're gonna scroll until you find this one, the cloth brush. Click on it, and over here in the right, and if you don't see these options, you just go on the first icon on the top. So if maybe you are here in the modifiers, you just click on this icon on the top, and here we need to take this pinch perpendicular. Okay, so you have here the formation, and you don't pick pitch point but this one, and I'm maximum size, and also maximum radius, and the strength is about half. And now let's create some details on this. Move it slowly, because if you move it too much, maybe this is too much slow. You see, like, you can notice some details here, so it looks realistic. But don't do it too much, because it will look very messy if you do it too much. Just a little to add some details. Something like this. And also by the edge. This is gonna be shown from far away, but just so you know the process of doing this kind of stuff. Let's leave it like this for now. This is good. Actually, let me do a little on this side also. Something like this. I feel it looks good. Now you can go back to layout. I will replace all these panels with this one. I don't want to measure again and stay a lot to position them. So for this, I will go to this middle one. I will right click. I will say set origin to geometry. I will press Shift S, cursor to selected. Now for this one, I will duplicate it. I will right click on it. I will say set origin to 3D cursor. Delete this one. Right click on this one, the duplicated one. Set origin, geometry to origin. I don't like that, but let's move it a bit forward. So let's do that again. Right click, origin to geometry, Shift S, cursor to selected. Now duplicate this one. Doesn't matter where you put it. Right click, set origin to 3D cursor, delete this one. And here you say right click, geometry to origin. And again we have to move it forward. Okay, that's good. And for this tree, delete this tree. Select this tree, duplicate them. I will cancel this movement. I will press R, Y, 90. And also to reverse them, to have the details on the front, R, Z, 180. Alright, now let's position them like this. And actually I think I will resize them a little bit on the Z-axis. Something like this. Looks good. Let's take them out a little. Perfect. Now for the legs, I will create a cylinder. Shift A, mesh, cylinder. I will move it down so I can see it. Right click, shade smooth. Go here to object data properties and select this auto smooth. Edit mode, pressing tab. Over here I will alt click the top one and I will resize it, let's say to double, yes, S, and I'll say 2, enter. That's good. Now I'll take the bottom one, I press alt and left click, G, Z, and let's move it down. Something like this, let's say minus, do I go to minus 12? Yes, minus 12. Now let's resize it. I'll press S and I'll press Shift Z so it doesn't resize on the Z axis and move it to be a little more thin. Let's say 0.5. That looks good. Now I'll press numpad 7 and numpad 9. Good. And position this leg. Something like this. Duplicate it, move it to this side. Now with these two selected, I duplicate them and move them to this side. Shift D, Y, and move them like this. Now press 1 and take them up, all of them. That's a huge couch. Anyway, Ctrl J, tab, press letter A to select all. Over here at the top, you can change different options and say individual origins. And let's say S and resize them. But not on the Z axis. We don't resize them on the Z axis, so we press Shift Z and we make them more thin. Like this. Now I go to vertex select like this, or pressing 1, and I go over here to X-ray and select like this, drag over them, G, Z, and move them up, maybe a little more down. Yep, this looks good. And this is the couch. Now before we group all this, because we want them all grouped, let's select the legs and go here to materials and create a new material for them. and say over here, couch legs. Now select this bottom part, create new material and say couch bottom, and select one of these cushions, say new material and call it couch cushions. And now I will select all other cushions, and the one with the material I will select it last. Press Ctrl L, and like this you can link materials. Basically we copy the material of this one to all others, so because we want all of them to have the same material. So here I will press Ctrl L and link materials, and now all of them, they will have the same material already selected. We have here couch bottom and couch legs. And now if I select all of them and press Ctrl J, they will be joined, but these materials, they will still apply to each of them. I will show you. So go in this material viewport shading, okay? So now everything looks the same, but for example, if I go to the legs and I choose a color, let's say I put brown, you can see only the legs change. Even if this is only one object and is joined, now this material is linked to the legs. And if I change the bottom, let's say to yellow, and the top part, let's say also to, I don't know, pink, this looks very interesting couch. But yes, you get the point that these materials now, they are linked to the couch. So let's press Ctrl Z for all of this, because we don't want to apply any materials at the moment. We're gonna have a special section for materials. Now we just focus on the modeling. Alright, so now let's bring out the blockout and position this couch in place. It should fit perfect here. I move it up a little bit. Now on the y-axis and on the x-axis. And let's move it again to the y-axis. And it is a perfect fit. Let's move it closer to the window on the x-axis. And this is just perfect. And now if we go to camera view, this is how the couch is gonna look in that place. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next lesson. In the next lesson, we're gonna create the chairs that they're gonna go here inside the same room. Bye!